There are nights when I realize how long I've been trying to carry everything alone. Nights when even silence feels too loud, when the weight of pretending I'm okay presses heavier than I expected, when the questions don't have answers, and the answers don't bring peace, and yet, something deep within me still believes this quiet place can become holy, that maybe, just maybe, this silence is not your absence, but your invitation. So here I am, God, not with tidy prayers or the right words, just with the kind of honesty that only darkness brings out, just with a whisper, a breath, and the need to know you're still here, because if you are, then this quiet room becomes a sanctuary, this simple moment becomes sacred, and my tired soul finds somewhere to land. So let me land, Lord, let me stop running, not with my feet, but with my thoughts. Let me stop rehearsing what I can't control. Let me stop replaying what broke me. Let me stop trying to strategize my way into peace. Tonight, I lay it all down, not because I'm strong, not because I know how, but because you've always responded more to surrender than performance. You never asked me to figure it out. You asked me to come, and I am coming now, coming to you not as the version of me I show the world, but as the one you already see, the weary one, the anxious one, the wondering one, the one who still believes you're good, even when I don't feel good. There's a kind of sacredness in this breaking, a kind of worship in simply showing up empty. So I offer you this emptiness now. Fill what you will, hold what I can't, heal what I don't even have words for. I breathe deep now, not just to calm my body, but to remind my soul, you are here, even in this, even when the answers are slow and the pain is sharp, even when nothing changes by morning, even when the road ahead still looks foggy. You are here, and you are enough. So let your spirit settle over this room like a soft rain. Let your peace fall, not in thunder but in quiet strength. Let every wall inside me start to loosen. Let the striving in my chest begin to still. You are not impatient with this process. You never rush the fragile, so I won't rush either. If healing takes time, I'll give it time. If trust takes silence, I'll lean into silence. If growth happens underground before it's seen, I'll trust that even in this unseen place, something holy is happening. Because you are the gardener, not me. You are the potter, and I am the clay. So shape me again. Shape me in the waiting. Shape me in the whisper. Shape me in the stillness that used to scare me but now draws me closer. You have my attention, Lord. You have my permission to move. I won't resist anymore. I won't hold so tightly to what you've asked me to release. I won't idolize the plan when you've asked me to trust the person. And you are a person, not an idea, not a rulebook, not a routine. You are near, you are listening, you are working, even when I am sleeping. And that's what humbles me most, that while I rest, while I dream, you are building, while I surrender, you strengthen. So tonight, let me sleep in that truth, not in false comfort, not in numbing distraction, but in real, grounded holy peace, the kind that surpasses understanding, the kind that seeps into bones, the kind that doesn't demand proof before it arrives. Let me rest in knowing you've already gone before me. You see the days ahead, you know what I don't, and you're not nervous, so why should I be? You've always been better at being God than I am. I've tried to take your role before, to predict, to provide, to protect, and I only ended up exhausted. But you are never tired. You do not slumber or sleep, and that's the greatest kindness. While I sleep, you don't. You stay awake so I don't have to. You carry the world so I don't have to. You hold the future so I can let go of it. So I do. I let go now. I name the things that keep me up at night, and I place them in your hands. The fear of failure, the pain of comparison, the ache of loneliness, the uncertainty of provision, the questions I don't know how to ask, the dreams that feel too fragile to speak aloud. I give it all to you, not with clenched fists but open palms. You are safe, God, safe enough for my honesty, safe enough for my tears, safe enough for my silence. You've seen it all before, and you've loved me anyway. You knew what I'd struggle with, and you still chose me. You've never needed me to impress you, only to trust you. So I trust you now, even with what I don't understand, even with the what-ifs I can't control, even with the timeline that feels delayed, because you're not late, you're always on time, even when your timing stretches me, and maybe that stretching is the point. Maybe this delay is deepening my roots. Maybe this tension is strengthening my spirit. Maybe you're building endurance in the waiting, and endurance always precedes the miracle. So I will wait, not with bitterness, but with hope, not with fear, but with faith, not with clenched fists, but with lifted hands. You're worth waiting for, and what you build is worth trusting in. So build in me, Lord. Build in the silence, build in the night, build in the deep places no one else can see. You are not in a hurry, so I won't rush your process. You are not afraid of my mess, so I won't pretend to be perfect. You are not annoyed by my questions, so I'll bring them honestly. You are the God of nearness, the God of stillness, the God of slow miracles, and sacred timing. So let this be my altar tonight. Let my bed become holy ground. Let my breath become worship. Let my rest become surrender. I don't need to do anything more to earn your affection. I don't need to be more productive to deserve your presence. I don't need to be louder to be heard. You already see me. You already love me. You already know what I need before I ask. So I ask not for more answers. I ask for more of you, more of your closeness, more of your calm, more of your character shaping my. If I wake in the night, let me wake to peace. If I stir in restlessness, remind me you are still working. Even when I sleep, heaven does not pause. Even when I forget, you remember. Even when I wander, your spirit remains. So keep me in your care, Lord. Guard my mind, guard my home, guard my family. Let your angels take their posts. Let your word be the final voice I hear. Let your love surround me like a fortress. I do not rest tonight as someone uncertain. I rest as a child, known and loved, and that is enough. I don't need a plan. I don't need proof. I need presence, and you've already given it. So I receive it. I receive your stillness as strength. I receive your silence as assurance. I receive your silence as assurance. I receive your peace as my inheritance. This is the kind of wealth I can't lose. This is the kind of safety that doesn't require circumstances to align. This is the kind of love that redefines identity, not based on what I've done, but whose I am. I am yours, fully, finally, still.
There are wounds that go so deep they stop bleeding, places within me that have grown quiet, but not because they've healed, only because I stopped touching them. Parts of my story that I learned to silence, not surrender, pain I managed around, but never handed over. But tonight, Lord, I want more than management. I want healing. I am ready to be whole, not just better behaved, not just spiritually polite, whole. I don't want to pretend anymore that time alone can do what only your touch can. So here I am again, not because I'm brave, but because I'm tired of hurting the same way, tired of covering old bruises with new distractions, tired of making peace with emotional limps when you promised I could walk freely. I want to be healed, Lord. I want you to touch the places I've hidden the longest, the places where belief grew thin and fear grew thick, the places I swore I'd never speak of again, because the ache felt too holy to name. But you already know them, don't you? You see past the front I put on, even when I pray. You know which memory still makes my breath catch, which conversation still haunts my sleep, which rejection still echoes in my relationships. And you don't flinch. You don't recoil from the mess. You move closer. You always move closer. So I won't hide tonight. Not from you, not from myself. Because if there's one thing I've learned, it's that you're not afraid of broken things. You don't shame the hurting. You don't avoid the undone. You draw near to the shattered and call them beloved. You sit with the weak and name them worth. You take hands that tremble and hold them steady. So hold me steady now. Not because I've earned it, but because you said I could come. Because your word says healing is my inheritance. Because your heart has always moved toward the one who reaches in faith. So I reach, even if my arms are tired. I reach, Even if my trust is trembling, I reach, not because I understand how you'll fix this, but because I've seen what happens when you enter a story. You never leave it the same. You never touch without changing. You never come without healing. And so I ask, gently but boldly, come again. Touch what only you can. Speak where only silence has lived. Move where I've stayed stuck. Break open what's been walled off for too long. Not to shame it, but to redeem it. I am not asking for numbness. I'm asking for whole, not for forgetting, but for the sting to be removed. Not to escape, but to be rebuilt. Because healing doesn't mean erasing. It means reclaiming what pain tried to steal. It means standing in the same place where I once bled, and finding that now there's no scar too deep for grace to rewrite. It means telling the story again, but this time with your name at the center, not my wound. So rewrite me, Lord. Rewrite the way I see that moment. Rewrite the way I carry that name. Rewrite the way I measure my worth. I am done measuring my worth. I am done measuring myself by trauma. Done defining myself by disappointment. Done seeing myself through the eyes of who left, who hurt, who doubted. I want to see myself through your eyes now. The eyes that wept at Lazarus's tomb. The eyes that looked at Peter after the denial and still called him rock. The eyes that saw the leper, not as unclean, but as worth touching. Look at me like that, Lord. Not because I've forgotten what happened, but because I want to remember it differently through redemption. Show me where you were in the middle of it. Not the Sunday school answer, not the forced theology, but the real raw presence of a God who stayed. Show me the footprints I missed, the whispers I didn't recognize, the hands that held me when I thought I was alone. Because I wasn't alone, was I? Even when the room was empty, even when the betrayal cut deep, even when the door closed and never opened again, even when the diagnosis came, or the silence stayed, or the goodbye shattered me, I wasn't alone. You were there, and I want to see it now, because seeing it changes everything. It doesn't erase the wound, but it rewrites its power. It doesn't pretend the pain didn't happen. It just refuses to let pain be the last voice. So give me your voice, Lord, not just over my present, but over my past. Let your love echo back into the places I've locked up. Let your truth enter rooms I sealed long ago. Let your light illuminate the corners where I said, don't go there. Go there now. I trust you, even in the memories I avoid, even in the names I struggle to forgive, even in the stories I told with nervous laughter, just to hide the ache. Go there. I want to be healed, not just patched up, not just functioning, whole, and I believe your hands can do that. The hands that formed galaxies can form me again. The hands that were nailed to a cross still carry compassion for mine. The hands that rose from the tomb are not finished healing tombs in me. So touch me again, not once, not hurriedly, but patiently, lovingly, until every part of me begins to feel again, not fear but life, until joy feels safe, until hope feels real, until peace feels permanent. You've always healed in layers, always taken your time, always treated pain with tenderness. So I give you mine now, and I'll wait as long as it takes. I know the wait is holy if you're in it. I know the tears are sacred if they fall into your hand. I know the process is a promise, because you don't start what you won't finish. You are the God who finishes, and I am not finished yet. You're not done with me, even when I've wanted to be done with myself. You're not done healing what shame tried to hide. You're not done rebuilding what betrayal tried to break. You're not done speaking life where silence settled. You are not finished, and because of that, I will rest tonight, not in what I've fixed, but in what you're still forming. So I breathe slower again, not because everything feels fixed, but because I trust the one who's fixing it. I no longer need overnight answers. I need your ongoing presence, because what I'm asking for isn't a miracle that skips the journey. I'm asking for a miracle that includes it. I want to be healed the way only heaven can heal, from the inside out, from root to fruit, from soul to story. And I know that starts with honesty, so I tell you the truth. It still hurts sometimes. Some days I can talk about it without flinching, and other days I'm back at square one. Some days I walk in freedom, and other days I limp in fear. But I'm learning. Healing isn't a straight line. It's a sacred spiral. It returns, yes,
but never to the same depth. You're going deeper every time. You're showing me another layer. You're revealing something I didn't know was still there, not to shame me, but to free me. You are never cruel in your uncovering. You don't expose to embarrass. You expose to heal. You are a surgeon, not a spotlight. So keep going, Lord. Even if I wince, even if I beg you to pause, even if I try to retreat into numbness again, don't stop. Do what only you can do, because when you touch something, it changes. You touched the blind and they saw. You touched the deaf and they heard. You touched the grieving and they rose. So touch me again, not just once but until I rise too. Rise out of my stuckness. Rise out of my self-protection. Rise out of my emotional numbness. I want to live again, truly live, not just function. I want to hope boldly, not cautiously. I want to love without fear of loss. I want to walk with joy, not suspicion. That's the kind of healing I believe you offer, not the bandage kind, the resurrection kind, the kind that speaks to what's been dead and dares it to breathe again. So breathe on me, Lord. Breathe on the ashes I've accepted. Breathe on the dreams I let die. Breathe on the heart that grew quiet over time. Your breath creates. Your breath restores. Your breath rewrites stories the enemy thought he had finished. And he didn't finish mine. He tried. Oh, he tried. With shame, with trauma, with false comfort, and false hope. But he is not the author. You are. And you are still writing, still editing the pain into purpose, still weaving what was torn, still restoring what seemed unsalvageable, still proving that grace can grow even in ground scorched by sorrow. So I give you the ashes now. Every moment I thought was wasted, every prayer I assumed you didn't hear, every chapter I labeled too late, I hand them over. You're the only one who can turn them into beauty. I've tried to rewrite the story on my own. I've tried to find closure in my own wisdom, but closure without Christ is only silence, not healing. So I ask for your version now. You don't erase the pain, you reframe it. You don't dismiss the wound, you dwell within it. You don't ignore the scars, you anoint them. So anoint mine. Let them shine with oil, not shame. Let them speak of survival and glory, not failure and guilt. Let them become testaments, not tombstones, because I was never meant to die in that place. I was meant to be delivered, and I believe that's what you're doing even now. Delivering me, not in some dramatic instant, but in the slow, holy healing of a soul that finally stopped pretending, a soul that said, yes, I'm hurt, but yes, I still trust you, because I do trust you, Lord, even when I'm scared. Even when I wish it didn't take so long, even when I wonder if I'll ever feel whole, I trust you because you have never wasted my pain. You've never let a tear fall unnoticed. You've never forgotten the child within me that's still learning how to believe again. So teach her, Lord. Teach the little version of me, the one still hiding, still afraid, still bracing for rejection, that she is safe with you, that she can come out now, that she doesn't have to armor up before prayer, that she doesn't have to perform to be protected, that she can be as fragile as she feels, because your arms are strong enough to carry her. Carry her, Lord. Carry me, through the rest of this healing, through the layers I haven't named yet, through the emotions I've suppressed for years, through the lies I absorbed and called identity. You are my healer, not just of sickness but of story, not just of wounds but of identity, not just of pain, but of purpose. So restore not only what happened, restore who I am because of it. Remind me I am more than what broke me. I am more than what they said. I am more than what I lost. I am what you called me when you formed me. Chosen, whole, held, redeemed. And that word, Lord, redeemed, that's the one I cling to tonight. Not repaired, not simply better, but bought back. Worth paying for, worth healing fully. So I believe it now, even if my feelings lag behind. I believe I am worth healing. I believe I am worth rebuilding. I believe I am not too far gone, not too complicated, not too late. I am yours, and that means healing is not only possible, it's promised. You will finish what you started. You will complete the good work. You will keep building me until I become the reflection you saw all along. So I exhale now, not in fear but in faith. You are the potter, I am the clay, and what you make is always beautiful, even when it's unfinished. There's a kind of safety the world can't offer, a kind that isn't measured in locks on doors or hands on weapons. A kind that isn't found in money saved or strategies made. It's not the kind of safety that says you'll never face trouble. It's the kind that whispers, you'll never face it alone. Tonight, I need that whisper. Not the world's definition of security, but yours. Because even though everything around me may look calm, my thoughts have been anything but. They've wandered, spiraled, prepared for disaster, as if worry could build me a shelter. But worry is a house made of paper. It folds at the first sign of wind, and I'm done hiding in paper houses. I want to hide in you, the God whose wings are not poetic but real, the God who doesn't just protect, but covers, who doesn't just defend, but surrounds, who doesn't just speak peace, but is peace. So I come under your wing tonight, not because I'm brave, but because I'm small, not because I'm strong, but because I'm tired, not because I have it all together, but because you never asked me to. You asked me to dwell, to abide, to come close and stay there, so I do. I crawl beneath your covering with nothing in my hands, no defense but faith, no shield but surrender, no strength but your name, and I find that it's enough. I find that there is safety in stillness, not the stillness of fear, but of trust. The kind of stillness that says I don't need to know what's coming next. I only need to know who's already here. You are here. You are here when the world feels out of control. You are here when my mind replays every worst-case scenario. You are here when the headlines scream, and the silence of my room grows too loud. You are here, and you are not pacing. You are not nervous. You are not reacting. You are reigning. And that changes everything. So I choose to be still. Not because I've given up, but because I'm giving it to you. All of it. The fear I carry in my chest, like a shadow. The memories that haunt like uninvited guests. The future I've tried to predict, prepare for, protect. I give it all, because I trust that your covering is not just metaphor, it's real. You cover me with your presence. You cover me with your promises. You cover me with your angels, your mercy, your name. And even when I can't see it, I believe it's there. I believe there are forces I don't feel working on my behalf. I believe heaven has armies I've never glimpsed. I believe that when I pray things move. Not always things I see but things that matter. And right now what matters most is peace. So let peace be my covering tonight. Wrap it around my thoughts. Wrap it around my body. Wrap it around this home, this bed, this breath. Let every crack that fear has tried to seep through be sealed by the seal of your spirit. Let every spiritual door that anxiety knocked on be answered by the voice of your authority. Let the very atmosphere shift, not with noise but with knowing that I am covered, not temporarily, not conditionally, but eternally. You didn't promise me ease, you promised me presence. You didn't promise no storms, you promised you'd be in the boat. And if you are in the boat, then the storm can rage, but it cannot win. So I stop fighting with my fists, and start fighting with my faith. I speak your name over this night. Jehovah Shalom, you are my peace. Jehovah Nissi, you are my banner. Jehovah Sabaoth, you are the Lord of hosts, the commander of unseen armies. Jehovah Rohi, you are my shepherd, and no enemy sneaks past your eye. You don't just watch over me, you war over me. You don't just observe, you intervene. You don't just notice, you act. Even now, even here, even in this quiet room, you are active though I am still. You are alert, though I am ready to sleep. You are surrounding though I feel alone. So let my senses not define my safety. Let your truth define it. Let your word be my shield tonight. The word that says no weapon formed against me shall prosper. The word that says you will command your angels concerning me. The word that says even if I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, because you are with me. So be with me now. Be with the rooms I'm not in. Be with the people I love, the ones I can't protect, can't reach, can't control. Cover them. Go where I can. Speak what I don't know how. Do what only God can do. And remind me gently that that's never been my role anyway. I am not the protector. I am the protected. I am not the shield. I am the sheltered. And that is enough. I don't need to understand the method if I trust the master. So I release the obsession with certainty. I release the hunger for control.
I release the checklist of what I think will keep me safe. You are the only safe place. Your name is my refuge. Your spirit is my hiding place. Your love is my armor. So tonight I rest not behind walls but under wings, and there is no safer place to be.
You don't always answer loudly, Lord. You don't always part the sea with spectacle. You don't always shake the mountain. You don't always speak with thunder. Sometimes, you just stay. And somehow, that's more powerful than 1,000 signs. Tonight, I'm not asking for a miracle I can see. I'm asking for the kind you do behind the scenes, the quiet ones, the ones that don't make headlines but change everything. Because I'm learning, just because I don't see movement, doesn't mean you're not moving. Just because I don't hear answers, doesn't mean you're not responding. Just because I feel forgotten, doesn't mean you've left. You are the God who works in silence, and that is holy. So I lean in tonight, not to the noise but to the hush, not to the shouting world, but to the whispering heaven, because it's in the whisper where your wisdom is wrapped. It's in the stillness, where your strategy unfolds. It's in the quiet, where your miracles begin. You've never been afraid of slow, never been pressured by clocks or calendars. You move when it's time, and never a second before. So tonight, I surrender the rush, the deadlines, the anxious need for updates, the spiritual refreshing tab I keep pulling down in my mind, hoping to see change. I delete the need for control, and I rest in your timeline, not mine. I rest in the assurance that delay doesn't mean denial, that silence doesn't mean absence, that mystery doesn't mean abandonment. You're not trying to confuse me, you're trying to deepen me. You're not hiding from me, you're training my trust. And trust, I'm learning, is never built in the light. It's born in the dark. It grows when answers don't come quickly. It strengthens when understanding is slow. It matures when I stop demanding to see and start choosing to believe. So I believe. Even when the doors stay shut, even when the report doesn't change, even when the promise looks far off and my emotions feel fragile. I believe because your character outranks my feelings. You are good whether or not I feel good. You are working, whether or not I see it. You are faithful, even when I am faithless. And you do not change just because my circumstances haven't. So let that be enough tonight. Not what I feel but what I know. I know you're here. I know you're moving. I know that behind this quiet night, angels are carrying out your word. I know that while I rest, you are positioning things. I know that while I breathe, you are orchestrating steps I couldn't take on my own. And just because the progress is invisible, doesn't mean it's not happening. There are seeds growing under this silence, roots deepening where I feel nothing, hearts being softened in places I'll never touch, doors being carved in walls I thought were permanent. So help me rest in, help me remember that your delays are never wasted, that the waiting room is often the womb, that you never stop working, not even for a moment, even when I sleep, you don't, even when I'm discouraged, you're determined, even when I doubt, you're steady. You're not waiting on me to be perfect, you're just asking me to stay surrendered, and I do. I surrender to what I cannot see, I surrender to the process that doesn't fit my plan. I surrender to the pace that stretches me. I surrender to the slow, because you're in it. You are the God of slow glory. You move like sunrise, subtle, faithful, breathtaking. You move like rivers, steady, shaping, impossible to stop. You move like time, unseen yet transforming. So if you are not panicking, I won't panic either. If you are still, I'll be still. If you are holding everything together, I will stop trying to hold myself together on my own, because I was never asked to do this alone. You've never handed me a plan, and walked away. You stay, through every question, through every silent month, through every prayer that ends in tears, instead of clarity. You stay, not to explain yourself, but to carry me through, and that is enough. So I lie here now, still, not because I've surrendered to fear, but because I've surrendered to love, a love that does not sleep, a love that doesn't need daylight to work miracles, a love that watches over me with tenderness stronger than iron. You are my guardian, Lord, not a distant deity but a present protector, not a cold watcher, but a warm refuge. Your eyes miss nothing, Your care leaves no corner untouched. There are things I'll never know you've shielded me from. Accidents that didn't happen. Words that were never said. Dangers rerouted by divine hands. I'll only understand on the other side of eternity. But tonight I thank you for them anyway. I thank you for the almosts that mercy intercepted. I thank you for the storms you calmed before I even saw the clouds. I thank you for guarding me when I didn't even think I needed guarding. I used to think peace was found in knowing the plan, but you've shown me real peace is found in knowing the person. And I know you, Lord. I know your voice that stills the waves. I know your hand that reaches when I'm sinking. I know your shadow that comforts when the heat of life feels unbearable. So let me abide there tonight, under your shadow. Psalm 91 says you cover me with your feathers, and under your wings I will find refuge. Not because I'm worthy, not because I did everything right today, but because you are who you say you are, and that's more than enough. Cover me like you covered Moses on the mountain. Hide me in the cleft of the rock. Let your glory pass over, not to dazzle me with spectacle, but to wrap me in quiet safety. This room becomes that cleft now. This pillow becomes that altar. This night becomes the mountain of your mercy. Not because of where I am, but because of who you are. You don't need perfect conditions to protect me. You don't need silence in the world to bring peace to my heart. You just need one whisper, one word, one breath, and everything changes. So breathe over this space. Let no darkness invade this home. Let no voice but yours have authority here. Let no lie take root in this sacred soil. Let no fear find foothold. I cancel every agreement I've made with anxiety. I break every contract with dread. I renounce every story I've rehearsed in my mind that ends in harm. Tonight I make a new agreement with your goodness. I declare your covering as my reality, your nearness as my defense, your word as my wall, and even when I sleep, I remain under your watch. Even when I am unconscious, heaven is fully aware, so I can rest. I can truly rest, not the restless kind where the body lies down, but the spirit tosses and turns, the kind where peace seeps into every part of me, where trust becomes the pillow, and presence becomes the blanket. You are my shelter, a high tower, a hiding place, a fortress of grace built on foundations no enemy can breach, and in that fortress I find not only safety, I find belonging. You don't just shield me from enemies, you shield me from lies I've told myself, that I'm alone, that I have to be in control, that my safety is up to me, that I'm only protected when I'm aware. No, you are more faithful than that. You protect me even when I'm unaware. You go before me in dreams. You surround me in the dark. You war for me with angels I cannot see. So I speak your name over every corner of this room. Jesus, be here. Jesus, walk these halls. Jesus, sit at the edge of this bed. Jesus, post angels at every door and window. Jesus, fill this air with your spirit so thick, no fear can breathe here, and not just for me, for the ones I love. I speak your protection over them now, whether they're near or far, sleeping or working, hurting or healing. Go to them, Lord. Place your wing over their minds. Shield them from torment. Silence the accuser. Lift the weight. Strengthen their heart. And when they don't know how to ask for protection, be the answer anyway. You're that good. You're the God who protects even when we forget to pray, who guards even when we're distracted, who defends us from things we didn't know were attacks, and who restores peace even after the battle. So restore peace tonight. Restore it fully. Let this house become known to heaven as a place where your presence rests. Let every inch of it be saturated with your stillness. Not just tonight but tomorrow, not just for sleep but for waking. Let this space be a refuge. Let my body become a temple again, not ruled by fear but filled with you. Cleanse every anxious thought, sweep out every fearful narrative, seal every crack where dread once lingered, and fill the space with praise, even in sleep. Let my soul sing. Let the rhythms of my breath match the rhythm of your mercy. Let my dreams echo your truth. Let my heart receive new strength, strength not for striving, but for resting in your strength. You are my rest, my shield,
my sacred place. And so I lie down, not just hoping I'm safe, but knowing I am. You cover me, you keep me, you never sleep so I can, you never leave so I'm never alone, and even when morning comes, your protection stays. So I breathe deeper now, not as an escape, but as a sacred agreement. With every breath, I say yes. Yes to not knowing. Yes to the quiet. Yes to the kind of peace that doesn't explain itself. It simply enters and remains. You've taught me that sometimes the silence is not a problem to solve, but a place to sit. Sometimes what I'm calling waiting is you building things in me that noise would only destroy. Patience, endurance, dependence, humility. You're not ignoring me, you're investing in me. And this quiet space, it's not your distance, it's your design. Because when I can't hear you, I listen harder. When I don't see the way, I lean deeper into the shepherd's arms. When I stop trying to rush you, I finally see how steady you are. You are not slow to fulfill your promises. You are preparing all things in ways I couldn't understand even if you explained them. You're preparing hearts I don't have access to. You're arranging divine appointments I can't schedule. You're making paths through places I haven't even imagined yet. So why would I rush the God who sees everything? Why would I demand to steer when you already know where this road leads? You are not just writing a story, you are writing mine. And every delay has purpose. Every closed door has mercy. Every season of silence is soaked in unseen strategy. So I won't curse the quiet anymore. I'll bless it. I'll welcome it as a holy hush. The kind that comes before breakthrough. The kind that covers the ground where new life is forming. You are doing a new thing, even when I feel stuck. Even when every day looks the same. Even when I wake up wondering if I've missed something. I haven't. Because I haven't missed you. And where you are, nothing is wasted. So I release the timeline again. I release the fantasy that I should be further by now. I release the lie that your pace is punishment. I release the frustration that rises when I see others move faster. Let them move. Let them fly. Let them run. I will stay in step with you. Even if it's slow. Even if it means stillness. Even if it means walking blindfolded with only your word to guide me. Because your word is enough. It doesn't return void. It doesn't expire when feelings fade. It doesn't bow to circumstances or pressures. It stands. And so I stand on it. I stand on what you said, not what I see. I stand on what you promised, not what I perceive. I stand in the quiet, because you're still speaking here, not in the voice I expect, but in the way the stars still rise on schedule, in the way my lungs still fill without effort, in the way you've kept me every single night I've asked, and even the ones I forgot to. That's who you are, the keeper, the still walker. The God who builds things slowly because eternal things never crack under pressure. So build me slow if you must, Lord. Shape me like stone, not sand. I'm done measuring success by speed. I'm done measuring your presence by noise. I'm done fearing the quiet as absence. Now I see it as the soundproof room of your greatest miracles. Now I trust what you do in silence even more than what you do in spectacle. Because this is where real faith grows. Not on the mountaintop, but in the shadows. Not in the answered prayer, but in the nights I prayed anyway. Not in the finished testimony, but in the messy middle. So let this middle be holy. Let this night be enough. Let this quiet room become a sacred temple. Let this silence become saturated with your unseen hand. I don't need a sudden breakthrough tonight. I need a deeper belief. That's what changes everything. Because if I believe you're here, then I'm already winning. If I believe you're working, then I'm already safe. If I believe you never stop moving, then I can stop striving. So I stop now. I rest now. Not because I've figured it out, but because I trust the one who has. I close my eyes not in defeat, but in faith. Faith that morning will come. Faith that what I sow in tears tonight will bloom in joy. Faith that I am being rebuilt, not despite the silence but through it. So I surrender again, to your timeline, to your process, to your wisdom, to your unseen ways. You are the God who moves in silence, and tonight I will rest beneath your still sovereign hand. Search me, O God, and know me. Try me, and see if there is any anxious way within.
Lead me in the way everlasting, not just tonight, but every night forward. Because if I am yours, I am not lost, and if I am yours, I am never unfinished. You formed my inward parts. You knit me together in the dark, not just in the womb, but in every womb-like place since then. Every cave of confusion, every night of surrender, every silence where trust was grown like roots in secret soil. You saw me before I knew how to pray. You called me before I knew my own name. And tonight, even if I question who I've become, you do not. You know, you remember the blueprint, the one you drew before I drew my first breath, the one that included every scar, every season, every valley, the one you never forgot, even when I did. So I return to you now, not to be recreated, but realigned. You don't start over with shame. You restore what was always yours. And I was always yours, even when I walked away, even when I tried to define myself by effort, even when I forgot the sound of your voice. You never forgot mine. You kept the sound of my weeping in a bottle. You kept every tear, not one lost, not one wasted. Psalm 56:8 says you record my misery, you collect my tears in your bottle. Are they not written in your book? So write again, Lord. Write not from the beginning, but from this middle. Write from this night forward, this moment where I stop running and start remembering. I am not a mistake being corrected. I am a child being completed. You don't abandon the work of your hands. You don't forget what you formed. And even when I feel like a mess, you see me as a masterpiece in motion. So I surrender this unfinishedness. I let go of the pressure to be further along. I release the guilt for not growing fast enough, because growth has never been a race. It's always been a garden, and gardens are not rushed. So tonight, I let you garden me. You are the vine keeper, the Psalm 1 gardener, who plants by streams of living water, not to rush, but to root, not to perform, but to prosper, not to impress, but to bear fruit in season, not always, not instantly, but always on time. So let this be the season of stillness. Let this be the time when roots grow deeper than branches, when faith digs further than sight. Blessed is the one who does not walk in the counsel of the anxious, or stand in the path of the panicked, but delights in the law of the Lord, and meditates on it day and night. That is who I want to be, planted, watered, unshaken. You said in Psalm 125 that those who trust in you are like Mount Zion, which cannot be shaken but endures forever. So I set my feet on Zion now. I plant myself in your promises, not my progress. And I hear your whisper from the Psalms. I will perfect that which concerns you. Psalm 138:8. You will, not might, not maybe, you will, because you're a finisher. You are Alpha and Omega. You don't just start things, you stay for the final chapter. You finish what you author. You fulfill what you speak. So I rest tonight, not because I've figured out who I am, but because I've remembered whose I am, and that truth rewrites everything. So I lie here not with answers, but with peace, because peace is not found in explanation, it's found in your embrace. You surround me on every side, behind me, before me, beside me, within me. Just as David said in Psalm 39, you hem me in, behind and before, you lay your hand upon me. And what hand is this? It is not heavy with condemnation. It is not clenched in frustration. It is open, gentle, steady. It is the same hand that reached into the dirt and shaped me. The same hand that painted galaxies but still wipes my tears. The same hand that holds back the sea and holds my soul at once. So I do not fear being unfinished, because your hand is still on me, not pushing me, not punishing me, just holding me. And in that holding, I am safe. I don't have to rush to prove myself. I don't have to hustle for healing. I don't have to earn the right to rest. I just have to stay, abide, dwell in the shelter of the Most High, and rest in the shadow of the Almighty. You said in Psalm 91, He will cover you with His feathers, and under His wings you will find refuge. So let these wings be my covering. Let your truth be my shield. Let your promises be the pillow where I lay my thoughts down. I don't need to be strong here. I don't need to have resolve. I just need to return. And I do. Right here, right now I return. Like the psalmist in chapter 11:16 I say, Return to your rest. O my soul, for the Lord has been good to you. He has, you have, you've carried me through more nights than I can count. You've comforted me in ways words never could. You've healed places that doctors couldn't diagnose. And even when I forgot you were working, you never stopped. You've proven yourself faithful, not once, not twice, but daily. So I choose now to believe not just in your ability, but in your heart. You're not just capable, you're committed. You're not just mighty, you're near. And you're not just holy, you're kind. That kindness is what draws me to lie down without fear, not because I've conquered every storm, but because I know the one who speaks peace to the sea. And you're speaking now, not in a shout but in a whisper, be still. So I will be still and know that you are God. Psalm 46:10. Not because I see the fruit yet, but because I trust the root is real. You are the root, the vine, the anchor behind the veil. And even if I never feel this night again, even if tomorrow holds more questions than clarity, even if the waiting continues, I will return to this. You are good, you are here, you are finishing what you began, because this, all of this, was never about my ability. It was about your nature. You are the finisher, the potter, who does not abandon the clay, the shepherd, who leaves the 99, the father who runs toward the prodigal, the God who numbers my days, and still says, I'm not done with you yet. So let me fall asleep not wondering who I'm becoming, but worshipping the one who holds the answer. Let me rest not because the story is resolved, but because I know the author never leaves a page blank. You are writing redemption into places I thought were over. You are restoring colors to chapters I had grayed out. You are renewing dreams I buried too deep to touch. You are rebuilding me, quietly, faithfully, completely, because you are not finished. You are faithful to finish, faithful to complete, faithful to keep shaping me until I look like the one you dreamed up in eternity. So I say this now, like David in Psalm 23, surely, goodness and mercy will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. That's the only ending I need. That's the only promise I rest on. Not I figured it all out, but he finished what he began. So I close my eyes now, not in fear, not in striving, but in trust. He who began this good work in me, he will complete it, and I will rest, fully known, fully held, in the hands that never let go. My flesh and my heart may fail, but you, O Lord, you are the strength of my heart and my portion forever. That's what the psalmist wrote. And tonight, those words feel more like breath than scripture, more like medicine than poetry, because I have nothing left to bring. I've tried strength, I've tried strategy, I've tried willpower, endurance, consistency, effort, and optimism. And I'm still tired. So tired, not just in body and soul. A tiredness that sleep alone can't fix. A fatigue that prayer doesn't always lift instantly. A weakness I once resented, but now realize is the doorway to something deeper. Because weakness is where your strength begins. So I come to you now, not holding myself together, but falling apart in your hands. I come to you not as the conqueror, but the child, not as the victor, but the vessel, not as the warrior, but the one who has laid down her sword and whispered, I can't do this alone anymore. You said in 2 Corinthians, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. So let it be perfected here. Let it be revealed, not in my accomplishments but in my surrender. Let this be the night I finally admit, I am not enough, but you are. I was never meant to be the source, only the one who abides in the source. And your strength, it doesn't demand performance. It doesn't wait until I'm worthy. It meets me on the floor, when I have nothing left to prove. You give power to the faint. You renew strength to those who wait on you. Like Isaiah said, those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall rise, they shall run, they shall walk, and not faint. So I wait now, not anxiously, but expectantly. I wait like empty lungs, wait for breath. I wait like parched ground waits for rain. I wait like a child waits for her father to lift her, because I know this. When I stop striving, I start receiving. And what I need tonight isn't more motivation, it's more of you. You are the lifter of my head, the shield around me, the God who doesn't just observe my weakness from afar, but steps into it fully, gently, completely. You wore weakness like skin. You embraced it in a manger. You carried it to a cross. You turned it into victory. So I do not hide mine anymore. I give it to you, not reluctantly, not ashamedly, but openly. Here it is, Lord, my weariness, my doubt, my numbness, my invisible battles. Here it is, the anger I bury, the disappointment I disguised as patience, the grief I kept moving past, because I thought healing meant ignoring it. Take it all, not because I don't want to carry it, but because I was never meant. You said, come to me, all you who are weary and heavy laden, and I will give you rest. So I come, not with a polished prayer, not with a spiritual resume. I come with hands full of burdens, and a heart cracked open by the sheer kindness that you, God Almighty, would call this moment holy, because this weakness, this quiet giving up, this divine breakdown, it's sacred to you. You meet me here, and you don't scold, you don't shake your head, you don't say try harder, you say let me carry you, let me be strength where you've run out, let me speak when you don't have words, let me finish what you cannot, let me breathe into bones you thought were too dry to live again, let me build you back, not as you were but as I dreamed. You said to Paul, my strength is made perfect in weakness, and I understand that now, because I feel it, not as a lightning bolt, but as a steady hand on my back, not as a shout, but as a whisper that says, you're not doing this alone. So I breathe again, not deeply, not confidently, just honestly. Every breath is a prayer now, not a performance, not a chant, just this, help me, that's all, and I know it's enough for you. Because you don't need elegant words, just surrendered ones. You don't need strength from me, just trust in yours. And even trust when it's weak, you receive it. You honor the faith that trembles. You bless the praise that comes through tears. You come close to the crushed. The psalmist said it, the Lord is close to the brokenhearted, and saves those who are crushed in spirit. Psalm 34:18. I used to think strength was about smiling through storms. Now I see, sometimes strength is crying in your presence, and knowing you still count that as worship. Sometimes it's falling down and whispering, you're still good. Sometimes it's not even a whisper, just staying in your arms when I don't feel anything at all. Because even in the numbness, you are there. Even when I can't feel, I know I am still being held. Even when I can't believe loudly, you still honor the silent yes inside me. Because faith isn't always fire. Sometimes it's just staying near the altar, even in ashes. Sometimes it's just showing up. Sometimes it's just breathing. Sometimes it's saying I don't know how, but I trust you do. So I say it again. I trust you, with what I don't understand, with what I can't carry, with what I thought should be done by now, with what hurts more than I expected. I trust you with my weak places, because those are the places where you build altars. Like David said in Psalm 73:26, my flesh and my heart may fail, but God is the strength of my heart and my portion forever, not just sometimes, not just when I'm good, forever. So be that strength now, not just strength to push through, but strength to rest, strength to stop performing, strength to say no when I'm running on empty, strength to be held and not be ashamed of it. Because you never mocked my need, you never belittled my exhaustion. You are the shepherd who makes me lie down. You don't just lead me, you make me rest. You insist I stop, you command my stillness, and you bless it. You prepare a table for me even in the valley. You don't rush me through, you nourish me in the middle of it. You anoint my head with oil. You don't just forgive me, you fill me, and my cup overflows. Not because of what I've done, but because of who you are. You are enough, you are sufficient, you are steady when I shake, you are whole when I am fragmented, you are calm when I spiral, you are joy when I forget how to laugh, and you never change. So I rest now, not because everything is fixed, but because you're still here, still holding, still healing, still strengthening me from the inside out. Not with adrenaline, not with pressure, not with performance, with peace, with presence, with promises that do not fail. You said, come to me all who are weary and heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Matthew 11:28. So I do. I come, and I release the weight. I come, and I collapse into grace. I come, and I remember that you don't bless effort, you bless surrender. So I surrender again, all of it. The exhaustion I've hidden, the pressure I've normalized, the fear of being seen as weak, the lie that I have to hold it all together to be loved. I release it all into your hands, hands that were pierced to hold me forever. And as I let go, I feel it, not shame, not judgment, not more to do, but rest, the kind that wraps me like a quiet lullaby, the kind that lets my shoulders drop and my spirit unclench, the kind that makes room for breath, real breath, holy breath, breath that says I'm safe, breath that says he's got me, breath that says when I am weak, then I am strong, because I am not the source, I am not the savior, I am not the solution, I am the love, I am the carried, I am the resting one in the arms of strength himself. And so I sleep tonight, not as a warrior in armor, but as a child under wings, and underneath are the everlasting arms. You prepare a table before me, in the presence of my enemies. Not after the storm has passed, not once the battle is over, not when I'm cleaned up, composed, and unafraid, but here, now, while the shadows still move in the corners, while the voices still whisper, while fear still sits across from me, with folded arms and narrowed eyes, you prepare a table, not a quick snack, not a dry piece of bread, a table, a feast, a place to sit, to stay, to dwell. You are not rushed by my fear, you are not intimidated by what surrounds me, you are not waiting for me to prove my peace. You bring yours and lay it down like bread and wine. You anoint my head with oil. You say, come sit. I know what's around you, but look what I've placed before you. And so I look. I look away from the edge of the valley. I look past the eyes of betrayal. I look beyond the heavy breath of anxiety sitting nearby. And I look at you, and you smile. Not because everything's okay, but because you're not going anywhere. This is not a meal for the victorious. It's a meal for the weary. This is not a banquet for those who've won. It's a table for those who were willing to stay, to trust, to sit when everything in them wanted to run. You prepare a table, not as a reward, but as a reminder that I am not alone, that I am not abandoned, that I am not invisible, that I am still worthy of presence, still welcome at the table of the King, even now, even with trembling hands and tired eyes. Even with doubts still dancing in the corner of my mind, you do not wait for perfect silence to serve me peace. You bring peace into the noise. You do not ask me to remove the enemies. You ask me to rest in spite of them. And somehow, the more I look at you, the smaller they seem. The more I eat what you've laid out, the less I hunger for fear. Because this table was not set by accident. It was planned, intentionally, lovingly, by the shepherd of my soul. You, Lord, who lead me beside still waters, who restore my soul, who guide me in paths of righteousness. You also invite me to dwell, to stay, to remain, to eat, not fast, not standing, but seated, settled. There is oil for my head, not to fix me but to bless me. There is wine for my soul, not to numb me but to revive me. There is bread that satisfies without striving, and as I stay, I feel it. The enemies do not disappear, but their power drains as I refuse to serve them with my attention. I do not feed fear anymore. I feed on faith. I do not pour a cup for panic. My cup overflows with goodness and mercy, because this is not a survival table. It's a covenant table. You are not feeding me out of pity. You are feeding me out of promise. And that promise is not new. It's ancient, eternal. You've always prepared tables for your people, manna in the wilderness, provision in famine, loaves in empty fields, fish for tired fishermen, breakfast on the shore for a guilt-stricken disciple. And now, here I am. You haven't changed. You still prepare a table in the place where I feel least deserving of joy. You still anoint heads that hang low with shame. You still overflow cups that once felt dry. You still turn battlegrounds into banquet halls. So let this be sacred now. Let me stop trying to escape the presence of my enemies, and start experiencing the presence of my God. Let me remember that you didn't promise to remove all threats. You promise to remain in the midst of them, and your presence, that's the feast. You are the bread, you are the wine, you are the oil and the overflow, you are the joy that makes fear lose its grip. You are the table, you are the home, you are the portion and the place and the peace. And even if the voices stay, even if the shadows don't leave tonight, even if the battlefield doesn't become a garden just yet, I will stay, because you are here.
So I stay seated. Not because the tension is gone, but because I no longer believe it has the final say. You, Lord, you set this table not in denial of my enemies, but in defiance of them. You dare to call me beloved where I once only heard battle. You spread a feast in front of fear. You let joy rise where panic thought it reigned. This is the weapon I didn't know I needed. Not a sword but a seat. Not a fight, but a feast. Not a battle cry, but the stillness of a shepherd saying, I am with you, and you are here. In every fork placed with intention, in every drop of oil running over my tired head, in every bite that tastes like grace, you are here in the quiet invitation to breathe again, to look up, to see not just what threatens me but who has chosen me, because this isn't just a table, it's a declaration. To every shameful whisper, she still belongs. To every enemy of my soul, you don't get the last word. To every wound that tried to define me, you are not her identity. To every lie that said I had to fight for God's love, He already chose her, and look how He sets the table. This is not the reward of the flawless, this is the reward of the found. This is what it means to dwell in the presence of God, not to escape all trouble, but to be carried through it, not to impress heaven with how strong I am, but to be reminded how safe I am, because the table is not a place of striving, it's a place of surrender, and you don't rush me through the meal, you stay, you pour more wine when I grow weary, you offer more bread when I doubt, you refill what I spill, you smile when I falter, you nod when I whisper, I'm still scared, and you say, I know, but I'm not leaving. The table remains, even when I forget, even when I walk away, even when I sit down, pick at my plate, and wonder if I'm worthy. You still serve, because this isn't a table built on my performance, it's built on your covenant, and covenant doesn't expire when I fall apart. Covenant isn't cancelled when I come with tears. Covenant doesn't close when I bring my questions. This table, this invitation, is built on your goodness and mercy. Surely they follow me, not failure, not fear, not guilt, goodness, mercy. They don't just follow me when I feel holy, they follow me because you are. They don't stalk me in anger, they pursue me in love, and they catch me. Tonight they've caught me, carried me, led me back here, to this place I forgot I belonged, to this table where I never lost my seat, even when I wandered, to this table where you still call me daughter, still call me seen, still call me wanted. So I stay when my thoughts tell me to get up and fix it all. I stay when shame tells me I should eat in the corner. I stay when fear tells me I don't deserve joy. I stay because you told me to come, you told me to sit, and you don't uninvite those you died for. You don't remove chairs from tables, you've built in blood. You don't change your mind about who belongs here. So I stay until the voices grow faint. I stay until the truth grows loud. I stay until I remember that this is what you always wanted. Me, here, with you, not performing, not pretending, just present, because you are not just the provider, you are the table itself, you are the bread that gives life, you are the wine that makes glad, you are the shepherd who walks the battlefield, just to prepare a place for me to be still. So I am still now, still in my heart, still in my soul, still in the truth that I am seated in the presence of majesty, and majesty delights to serve me, not because I am strong, not because I've earned it, but because love always feeds its own, and I am His, forever. You see me, even here, even now, not just the version I show the world, not just the surface I've learned to keep composed, not just the smile I've rehearsed when someone asks if I'm okay. You see me, the me behind the silence,
The me behind the service. The me behind the sighs I don't even notice anymore. And you don't just glance. You gaze, with the kind of attention that undoes the lies I've carried. The kind of presence that makes me feel real again. The kind of love that doesn't flinch when it sees my mess. You saw me before anyone else did. When I was invisible to the world, I was visible to you. You saw me like you saw Hagar, wandering, weeping, unnamed and unwanted. She thought she was running from pain, but she ran straight into your eyes. And when she collapsed in the wilderness, alone, pregnant, discarded, you didn't turn away. You didn't say, "Why are you here?" You said, "Where have you come from? Where are you going?" And then, you named her. You gave her a voice. You called her seen. El Roi, the God who sees. That's who you are. And tonight, in my own kind of wilderness, not one of sand and heat, but of silence and hidden ache, you come to me the same way, not demanding I explain myself, just reminding me, you already see. And somehow, that's enough, because being seen is what I needed more than being saved from the moment. To know that my pain isn't ignored, that my waiting isn't wasted, that my tears haven't evaporated into the void. You see them all, you count them, bottle them, record, like Psalm 56 says, you have kept count of my tossings. Put my tears in your bottle, not one drop escapes you. And tonight maybe I don't need to say much. Maybe I just need to know that someone sees me, and that someone is the one who made galaxy, the one who carved canyons with his breath, the one who stretched the skies like a curtain, is also watching me whisper into the dark. You see the moments no one else applauds. You see the prayers I never finish. You see the strength it takes just to keep showing up. You see the forgiveness I give without being asked. You see the anger I wrestle before it escapes my mouth. You see the loneliness that creeps in between conversations. You see the faithfulness I offer when no one says thank you. And not only do you see, you don't just notice me and move on. You linger, you remain, you draw nearer, because that's who you are, the God who sees and doesn't look away. He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. A shadow, not a spotlight, not a roadmap. A shadow. It's not what I asked for, but it is what I need, because there are seasons when your will doesn't feel like sunlight. It feels like dimness, like mist, like fog, like questions without answers. And in those moments, I used to panic. I used to think if I couldn't see you clearly, it meant you'd stepped away. But you didn't. You were just drawing me into the place where faith begins to breathe, because trust isn't formed in clarity. Trust is born in the dark, where feelings can't lead me, where sight can't guide me, where I learn slowly, painfully, beautifully, that you are still God when I cannot trace you, that I am still held when I cannot explain you, that you are still good when I cannot predict you, and that your shadow isn't absence, it's protection. You are too holy to expose me too soon, too wise to answer before I'm ready, too loving to give me a full map when what I need is your hand. So I reach now, not for a plan, but for presence, not for answers, but for assurance, that even when I cannot see the way, I can still rest in the one who is the way. You, O Lord, are the light that guides my steps, but you don't always illuminate the miles ahead. Sometimes you light only the next breath, and that is because trust, true trust, doesn't need to know everything. It only needs to know you. So I stop trying to explain myself. I stop trying to earn your gaze. I stop trying to be loud enough to deserve your nearness, because you already came close. You already found me, and I am not forgotten. I never was, even when I felt overlooked, even when people praised others louder, even when my name wasn't remembered in the room, even when they passed over what I carried in silence. You didn't. You were the first to see me cry, and the last to forget it. You were the one watching when I gave more than I had, when I stayed longer than I could bear, when I whispered grace over someone who didn't deserve it, when I forgave without recognition, when I served without applause, when I kept walking, even when no one cheered. You saw, you see, and your eyes, they are not cold, they are not critical, they do not search for flaws, They do not recoil at weakness. They do not scan me for value. They rest on me, with peace, with kindness, with love that doesn't blink. Your eyes saw my unformed frame. Your thoughts toward me outnumber the grains of sand. You knit me together in the secret place, and you have not stopped cherishing what you formed. So I let myself be seen, not just the polished parts, not just the strong words, not just the faith-filled declarations, but the doubt, the fear, the ache, the ordinary, the invisible. I lay them all out now, like garments removed at the door, and I let your gaze settle on them all. No hiding, no defending, just honesty, because you see through everything anyway, and still, you stay. You are not impressed by pretense. You are not drawn to performance. You are drawn to presence. Mine, as I am, so I am here, fully, no mask, no filter, no perfection, just presence. And somehow, that's the miracle, that I, just as I am enough for you to love, to choose, to stay with. You are not just the God who sees crowds. You are the God who sees me. You see the sparrow fall. You see lilies in the field. You see midnight worship in prison cells. You see broken alabaster poured at your feet. You see the widow's 2 coins, the servant's hidden faith, the shepherd boy in the field, the girl by the well, the mother with nothing left but oil. You see what others call insignificant, and you call it holy. So I let myself believe it too, that I am not invisible, not to you, not ever. I am seen, and not only that, I am known, known in my thoughts before I think them, known in my fears, before I confess them, known in my longings, I can't put into words, known in the way I carry pain, quietly, faithfully, with trembling hands. And still, you stay. You do not look away when I cry. You do not grow bored when I falter. You do not shift your eyes when I ask again for the same comfort. You are El Roi, the God who sees, and being seen by you, it heals. It quiets the panic that I have to be more to matter. It ends the race to be noticed. It fills the space where loneliness once reigned, because no matter what the world misses, you don't. You never miss a moment. You never miss a tear. You never miss a breath. And tonight, that's enough. To be seen by you is to be safe. To be seen by you is to be real. To be seen by you is to be home. So I rest now, not in the applause of others, not in the metrics of success, not in how loudly I've been celebrated. I rest in your eyes, and your eyes say this: you are mine, you are known, you are loved, you are not alone. So I whisper again, I trust you. Not because I've figured you out, but because I've seen enough of your heart to know you won't abandon mine, even when the road ahead feels like a question mark. Even when silence stretches longer than I thought I could bear. Even when prayers don't turn into answers but echo back empty. You are still here. You are the God of the shadow. You are the one who hides me, not to punish me, but to protect me. Because the secret place is not a punishment, it's a promise. A promise that I am not exposed, that I am not alone in the waiting, that I am not forgotten in the dark, that what I don't understand is still under your control. Isaiah said it. Your ways are higher than my ways, and your thoughts higher than mine. And though I want to understand, I am learning that peace isn't found in explanation. Peace is found in presence. Yours, the kind that holds me when I cannot hold anything else. The kind that calms me, not with certainty but with closeness. The kind that reminds me, I am not waiting for you to arrive. I am waiting with you, because you're already here. Here in the quiet, here in the shadow, here in the place where vision fades, but faith is born. And you know exactly how much I can carry. You know the weight of the unknown. You know the ache of unfulfilled hope. You know what it feels like to walk in silence, because you did. You lived 30 years of hiddenness before stepping into the light. You know the shadow is not wasted time. You know the slow seasons aren't signs of distance, but foundations of depth. So I choose again to stay, to remain in the shelter of your wings, to stop straining for sight and rest in surrender. Because the safest place in the world is not clarity, it's proximity. And I am near you now, near enough to hear the whisper, near enough to feel the stillness, near enough to say, even in the dark, you are my refuge, you are my fortress, you are my God, in you I trust. You will cover me with your feathers, and under your wings I will find refuge. Your faithfulness is my shield. You do not sleep, you do not forget, you are not late, you are not lost, you are God even when I feel unsure. You are working, even when I see nothing, you are moving, even when I sit still. So I breathe, I let go of the pressure to see, I let go of the need to predict, I let go of the idea that I must know more to feel safe. Because safety is not knowledge, safety is you, and you are not far away, you are in the shadow, and you have never failed me there. You are not done with me. That's the truth I come back to tonight. Not because I feel it, but because you said it. He who began a good work in you will be faithful to complete it. That's what you promised. And you don't make promises lightly. You didn't start this story just to walk away. You didn't plant these seeds just to forget the harvest. You didn't breathe on this heart just to watch it break. You finish what you start. And that changes everything. Because right now, some of it still feels undone. Some pages are still open. Some prayers still hang in the silence. Some healing feels slow, half-grown, unspoken. But you are still writing, still shaping, still weaving something holy from these unfinished places. You are the God of the process. The God of the mid. You don't just dwell at the finish line. You're here, in the waiting, in the chapter, where I wonder if you still remember what you said, in the space between amen and it is done. And you're not frustrated, you're not impatient, you're not tired of working on me. You are faithful, not sometimes, not when I perform well, not when I hit the right milestones, always, because you are not building something temporary. You are building eternity in me, and eternity doesn't rush. You are not in a hurry, you are in the details, in the hidden, in the root work beneath the soil. And when I grow restless, when I want results more than relationship, when I question if anything is really changing, you remind me, gently, kindly, I'm still working. I haven't left, I haven't forgotten the blueprint, I haven't abandoned the brushstroke, I haven't stopped shaping you. I finish what I start. So I rest my fears beside your faithfulness. I place every unfinished line into the hands of the author, who's never missed a word. You, O Lord, will fulfill your purpose for me. Psalm 138:8. Not just the purpose I thought I was here for, but the deeper one, the holy one, the one that doesn't depend on my understanding, but on your unwavering hand. You finish what you start. You finished the stars you flung into space. You finished the ark. You told Noah to build. You finished the wilderness journey. You began with Moses. You finished the temple through David's line. You finished every word the prophets spoke. And on the cross, you said it again. It is finished. Not abandoned. Not half complete. Finished. Because you are a God who completes. A God who fulfills promises, even when they stretch beyond generations. A God who does not forget what he whispered in secret. A God who never loses track of his children's tears. So I don't need to rush the ending. I don't need to close the chapter before you do. I don't need to force resolution, or demand clarity, or pretend I know how it all fits. I just need to stay in the story, because you're still writing, still unfolding, still proving that what you began in me will be carried through, even when I can't see it. Even when progress feels invisible, even when I wonder if I'm stuck. You're not done. You are faithful to complete it. You're finishing what I can't. You're healing what I can't reach. You're redeeming what I thought was ruined. You're rebuilding what I thought had collapsed forever. And you don't rush restoration. You do it carefully, tenderly, completely. So I surrender the timeline. I release the fear of delay. I lay down the weight of self-judgment, and I rest in this. You are not finished with me yet, but you will be. And when you are, it will be beautiful, holy, complete, because everything you do is good.